second part of this live stream is actually discussing this thing right here. This is a Tamron 70 to 180 f2.8. Nicco, mute muna kita. Baka makalimutan mo i-mute. 70 to 180 f2.8 III VXD. This is a telephoto lens from Tamron and it is Sony mount. So if you will notice here, at least in this photo, ayan, ginamit ko siya kanina. We were trying it out for a wedding live stream earlier, and that thing on the left-hand side is actually the mount for the what's this for the wireless video transmitter. So ginamit namin siya as one of the cameras and one of the lenses that we used for the wedding live stream. And ano ba ta? It's not the first time that I experienced using Tamron, and definitely way before when we were still using another camera. I think laging hand-me-down galing sa kaibigan ko. Ginagamit ko, na-try ko yung 28 to 75 and I think it's my first 2.8 lens alongside another telephoto lens. And medyo matagal na yung part na yun. During that time in our careers and in our lives, it's something that mas pasok siya doon. Mas pasok yung product na yun to us being the target market, no? But definitely, we also had experience with the G2 Trinity of Tamron. G2 Trinity, diba? Or Trinity of lenses. When we talk about photography, it's normally an ultra-wide, which is 12, 24, and then your mid-range, the 24 to 70, and then the 70 to 200. No? So kung dala mo yun, covered mo na lahat ng focal lengths. If you're gonna cover a certain event, a certain trip, and so on and so forth, medyo challenge yun, no? Kung yung isang buong trip. But definitely, as we mature, we also look for, di ba? We also try other things. And then, actually ako mas nangongolekta ako ng primes, especially with my camera system right now. Mostly primes talaga yung nakolekta ko. But definitely, because I do sports, I also use a lot of telephoto lenses. And in this case, ang tawag dito, maraming telephoto lenses na pwede mo subukan. But aside from the Trinity, I focused on collecting primes. But in this case, I had the chance to check out, again, the 70 to 180. So, a couple of specs. Saan ba ka magsisimula? It's 70 millimeters to 180 millimeters, contrary to what we are normally used to, which is 70 to 200. No? In terms of lens design, it actually affects the overall size of this particular lens. So it's lighter, it's smaller, and faster according to the spec sheet for true telephoto freedom. No? So although, zoom in lang ako ng konti para makita niyo. No? Although here, you can actually see this lens. If you zoom in, it actually protrudes. Konting-konti lang naman. But it actually adds or at least helps in the compact design of this lens. Kasi siguro kung dinagdagan nila yung diameter nito, baka mas magiging mahaba siya or mas magiging mabigat siya. Good thing about this is minimum object distance focus niya is actually 0.85 meters, and that's pretty nearby for a telephoto lens. And then while we were preparing for the wedding live stream earlier, I'll share to you a couple of photos that were taken with this one. No, so as normally kapag nasa simbahan, I'm just amazed at the pews, yung repetition ng pattern. And normally when you use a telephoto lens and a 2.8 lens at that, you will definitely see how a lens renders the depth of field. No, so malinaw naman dito na even if I was shooting on the side, actually may rendering siya ng depth of field. And one thing that I noticed just right now is natutuwa ako kung paano nire-render yung depth of field or yung blurriness ng monoblock ng mga chairs sa likod. No? And then I went outside, just took a couple of photos of course, because this is telephoto lens, trinay ko yung reach niya. So medyo malayo. These are, of course, yung branches ng trees. And then, as you can see, meron ulit rendering ng depth of field and then also repetition of patterns. So, kung may hula kayo kung anong venue to, let me know in the comments. And then, one thing that I also, again, another photo that shows how it actually renders the depth of field. I think dun ako na-impress, or usually when I try out anything that's 2.8 or anything that's constant aperture, ito yung chine-check ko una. Although it was daytime, definitely it yun pa lang na-check ko. In the coming days, I'll try this in low light conditions and maybe in moving conditions. But so far, so good, no? Good friend. Actually, kasama ko siya sa staff kanina, si JF. If you are watching, let me know in the comments. And then also, it allows you, because of the range, it allows you to reach for certain patterns, di ba? Yung kaibigan natin, isa sa mga kaibigan natin dito, magaling maghanap ng patterns ng mga yan. And it's also a challenge for me to, as a photographer, parang ngayon lang ulit ako nagkaroon ng time, even if it's just a short time, to take photos of random things rather than being specific or very work-oriented. No? So, it was actually an enjoyable experience. So, baka gagamitin ko tong lens na to, or gagamitin ko tong lens na to looking for these patterns. Again, it also renders, if not the background, yung foreground niya, yung foreground blur or yung depth of field, okay pa rin siya, no? Still pretty impressive. And even with subjects that are just side by side, parang nakukuha naman niya yung colors are good. Even if it was in direct sunlight, wala namang chromatic aberration. At least so far, no, and with this experience. And then it's a bit, I guess, tawag dito, quick impression because of the size. Madali siyang ilagay sa bag, and that's very important when you are traveling or when you are transporting this particular lens. Hindi ko alam kung kulang lang ako sa exercise. Baka kulang lang ako sa exercise at this point. Just a bit heavy. Just a bit on the heavy end, but definitely it's something that if you want to bring a telephoto that's portable with this size and with this focal length, definitely you should have this in your bag. Currently, if you have questions, let me know in the comments. But one thing that's very considerable, price point for this particular lens is, right now, it is at 67,490. Ano ba? Actually, okay yung price point na yun. So, if you're looking at a Sony E-mount that is probably your first telephoto, pwede mong tingnan itong bagay na to. Okay? Yan. So, if you have questions in the comments, let me know. Meron nagpapa-shoutout dito. Hindi ko alam kung paano sasabihin yung pangalan niya. But definitely, before I move on to the next segment, and ito na yung cue para sa guest natin para mag-prepare, I'll just remind everyone of this promo. Win a Joby HandyPod tabletop tripod from Joby here in Weekly Tech Fuzz. 3 things to do. Number 1, like the WTF page. Number 2, mention 3 friends in the comments. And number 3, share the live stream. Alright. And dyan magbabalik. And dyan magbabalik babalikan natin tong lens na to. Definitely. In the near future when we have more samples. But definitely, thank you for allowing us to try this out.